Hello, welcome back. Good morning, students, with your chemistry teacher Rajkumar Joppa sir. Now, today we will continue our chapter biomolecules, and today we will learn about the protein. And this is the essential components in our body, and these are act as a biomolecules. Biomolecules are nothing but they are sport life. They are itself non-living, but they sustain the life. Now today we will start our topic protein. The first question arises in our mind, what is the protein? Actually, proteins are the condensation polymer of alpha amino acid. Proteins are condensation polymer of alpha amino acid. Alpha amino acids are condensed together and they are joined by means of the peptide bond and by releasing a water molecules. That's why they are known as the condensation polymer. In that the alpha amino acids joined together and form the big chains. Now this is the alpha amino acid molecule in front of you. This is carboxylic acid and this is the alpha carbon, and to this alpha carbon there is a amino group is joined. That's why it is known as the alpha amino acid, and it has the following parts. Actually it is a chiral molecule that is change the plane of the plane polarized light. It means they are optically active substance. This carbon is chiral carbon, and this is a acidic group that is known as the carboxylic group, and it is acidic in nature. And this is the amino group, amines, and this is basic in nature, and this is the alkyl group, and this is a hydrogen atom joined to this carbon. And this is the molecule of alpha amino acid. This alpha amino acids is a chiral molecule. It has the four different molecules are joined to the central carbon atom. So it is chiral in nature and it is optically active. Now after this we will classify the alpha amino acids. Alpha amino acid into three parts. First is the neutral amino acid. Second is the acidic amino acid. And third is the basic amino acid. These are the following three types. This classification is carried out on the basis of presence of the amino group and carboxylic group. If the one amino group and one carboxylic group is present, it means it is a neutral amino acid. And the example of neutral amino acidic is the lysine. Neutral amino acid is glycine and alanine. Example for this is glycine and alanine. These are the two neutral amino acid. And if the number of carboxylic group is more than that of this amino group, it means if this is one carboxylic group and one amino group, यहाँ पे एक कार्बोक्सिल ग्रुप और एक अमीनो ग्रुप है, अगर यहाँ पर 2 कार्बोक्सिलिक ग्रुप और 1 अमीनो ग्रुप हों तो इट इज एसिडिक इन नेचर. द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ एसिडिक अमीनो एसिड इज aspartic acid and arginine. These two are acidic in nature, and the example of basic amino acid is the lysine and arginine. Lysine and arginine. These are two basic amino acid. In that the amino part is more than that of the carboxylic group. So dear students, this is the classification of amino acid on the basis of presence of carboxylic group and amino group in that. If the one carboxylic group and one amino group is there, it is the neutral amino acid. Example is glycine alanine. You always remember one example of neutral amino acid, acidic and basic amino acid, because number of time it is asked in exam in 1 marker question. So you must know the name of one of the alpha amino acid. Just like this is the acidic amino acid, in that carboxylic part is more than that of the amino part. That's why it is acidic in nature. In case of the basic amino acid, the number of amino group is more than that of the carboxylic group, and it changes to the basic in nature. Now on the behalf of this, proteins are formed by the condensation the molecules of the alpha amino acids, and again the amino acids are classified into two categories: essential and non-essential amino acids. Essential and non-essential amino acids. Essential amino acids are those that we are taken into the diet. Essential amino acid. Second is the non-essential amino acids. The essential amino acids, these are we taken into diet, and deficiency of any amino acid can cause disease. And non-essential amino acids are those amino acids are produced in our body, human body. These can be produced whenever we required this kind of non-essential amino acids for the formation of the protein, the body generate it. But the essential amino acids, these are taken into diet. Just like if you are a deficient of a essential amino acid, just like a disease, sickle cell anemia, or a disease just like Kawashora. This is caused due to the deficiency of the amino acids. There are 26 amino acids are found in our body, and out of these some of we are taken in our diet. These are known as essential because their supply is from outside the body, and that's why it's known as the essential amino acids. And after this we will discuss about the complete and incomplete protein. Complete and incomplete protein. Complete protein and incomplete protein. What mean by this complete and incomplete protein? Complete proteins are those which give all the amino acids, all amino acid required by the body on hydrolysis, and incomplete protein that are not able to give all amino acids, not give all amino acids, acid that required by the body. Just like wheat give only the one amino acids, and just like rice, this give the another amino acids, and these are the become the deficient in diet. Just like rice, lack of the amino acid, just like tryptophan, it is lacking of the enzyme tryptophan. After this, we will discuss about the another topic, that is student known as the isoelectrical point. Amino acids are polar in nature. Amino acids are polar in nature. They form Zwitter ion, just like this. See this? These are act as a Zwitter ion. In aqueous solution, this carboxylic acid release a proton and form a carboxylate ion. On the other hand, this amine part is basic in nature, is accept the proton donated by this carboxylic acid, and this become the positively charged. This separation of charge within the same molecule is called Zwitter ion. This is a Zwitter ion. And after this, students, we will discuss about the isoelectrical point. Isoelectrical point. Isoelectrical point is the certain range of the pH at which the amino acids molecules are not moved under the influence of a electrical field. This is known as the isoelectrical point, and this isoelectrical point act as a particular pH range. The acidic amino acids has the isoelectrical point pH range is less than 7, and the basic protein has the isoelectrical point more than 7, and in between the pH range of the 7 to 14. And students, this all amino acids are chiral in nature because the 4 different groups are joined to the central carbon atom of the amino acids. They are chiral in nature except the glycine, it is the non-chiral in nature, and it has the 2 stereoisomeric form, D and L form of the amino acids. Most of the naturally occurring amino acids are belongs to the L series. They are belong to the L series. It means all of them are laboratory. And how will you carry out a protein test? A protein test is carried out by a chemical substance that is known as 2,2-dihydroxyindane. 2,2-dihydroxyindane. Dihydroxyindane 1,3-dione. 1,3-dione. This is the chemical substance that is used for the test of the protein, and it's give purple color with the protein, and this is known as the ninhydrin test. Ninhydrin test for protein. We use the chemical for testing the protein is 2,2-dihydroxyindane 1,3-dione, and this is known as the ninhydrin test, and this gives purple color with the protein. Purple color with protein. Now these amino acids are joined together to form a long chain, that is known as a polypeptide chain. A polypeptide chain less than 100 amino acids is known as a polypeptide, and but if the amino acids in a polypeptide chain are more than the 100 molecules, these are known as a protein. So keep it remember in your mind, students. If the number of amino acids in a chain is less than 100, it is known as a polypeptide chain. If more than 100, it is known as a protein. And all the amino acids are joined together by means of the peptide linkage. These are form the protein molecules. Just like we take the example of glycine. This is glycine, and another molecule I take of the alanine. This is the molecule of alanine, and this glycine and alanines are joined together by means of a peptide linkage, and these are condensed. It gets condensed to form water molecules, and this glycine alanine are joined together by means of the peptide linkage. This is the peptide linkage. This linkage is known as a peptide linkage, CONH. This is a peptide linkage. And now this is pronounced as glyalaline. Glyalaline. To form the name of a polypeptide chain, we take the 3 letter of a first amino acid and complete name of the second amino acid, just like glyalaline. And these amino acids are joined together by means of a peptide linkage. This is CONH, peptide linkage, and this form a complete polypeptide chains. And when these amino acids are joined more than 100 molecules, they are changed to be the protein. Hello, now students, we will carry out the classification of the protein on the basis of their structure. On the basis of the structure, the protein of the 2 type. One is the fibrous protein. The fibrous protein, in that the protein molecules, the alpha amino acids long chains lie side by side in the form of a thread-like structures. The example is just like keratin of the skin, nails, hoops, and collagen fibers of our body tissues. And the second type is the globular proteins. The globular proteins also has the thread-like structures, but they are coiled around itself and they form a spherical shape. In that, the protein molecules has the 2 parts, polar and non-polar part, and the polar part is remain inside and non-polar part is remain inside of the molecule, and the polar part remain outside of this spherical globular protein. That's why these proteins, globular protein, is soluble in water, because the non-polar part of the molecule is stay outside and the polar part is stay inside. The example of the globular protein is the insulin, antibodies, and hemoglobin. Now, second classification on the basis of the chemical composition, just like the product of hydrolysis. Product of hydrolysis. We divide the protein into the 2 class, simple protein and the conjugated protein. In the simple proteins, when you hydrolyze this simple protein, you gives just alpha amino acids. The example of simple proteins are glutenin in wheat, albumin in egg, that is from white of egg, and the second type of protein is the conjugated proteins. These conjugated proteins on hydrolysis gives alpha amino acid and a non-protein part that is known as the prosthetic group, and this non-protein part, prosthetic group, may be a organic molecules, may be a metal ions just like calcium ion, magnesium ions. These control the activity of the protein, and these are known as the conjugated protein. This is all about the protein up to their classification on the basis of structure and on the basis of their chemical composition. Now after this we will study in that the structure of protein, just like the primary protein, secondary protein, tertiary protein and the quaternary proteins. We will continue the same. Now come on students, we will study our structure of protein. The structure of protein on the basis of their bonding present between the amino acids, just like hydrogen bonding and disulfide linkage and van der Waals forces. On the basis of this we will classify the protein on the basis of their structure. The first we will study about the primary structure of the protein. In the primary structure of the protein, the amino acids are linked together by means of the peptide linkage, and they are joined together in the form of a particular sequence, and they have the thread-like structures, and these thread-like structures are held together by means of the hydrogen bonding and disulfide linkage and van der Waals forces. And now the primary structure of protein follow a particular sequence in the long chain. Any change in the sequence of the amino acid, there is a change in the type of the protein. Just like we take the example of hemoglobin that is found in the human blood. Now normal hemoglobin have the following sequence: valine, cysteine, leucine, proline, glucine, lysine. If we change this glucine with a valine, and this change to another type of protein, that is from the sickle cell hemoglobin, and it causes a disease that is known as the sickle cell anemia. And this sickle cell anemia is the just change of one amino acid in the sequence of the normal amino acids. There is a valine instead of glucine is changed, and it is change in the type of the hemoglobin, and this leads to a disease. In the primary structure of the proteins, the amino acids are joined together by means of the peptide linkage in the form of a long chains, and this is known as a primary protein. Now the second type of the structure of the protein is the secondary structure of the protein. Students, secondary structure of the protein is attained due to the conformation that the polypeptide chain assume due to the hydrogen bonding is called the secondary structure of the proteins. The hydrogen bonding support the structure of the primary structure of the protein, and it is of the two type, and it is the alpha helix structure and beta plated structure. In the alpha helix structure, the polypeptide chain coiled around a central axis, just like this. It is coiled around a central axis, and every first and the fourth molecule all of the amino acids joined together by means of the hydrogen bonding. A hydrogen bonding is formed between the carbonyl group of the first amino acids and the amino group of the fourth amino acid in the sequence, and it form a right helical structure that is supported by means of the hydrogen bonding, just like this is formed. That is the secondary structure of the protein, and this secondary structure of the protein is supported by means of the hydrogen bonding. And second part of this secondary structure of protein is the beta plated structure. In the beta plated structures, the polypeptide chains are arranged in parallel and anti-parallel directions. Now, beta plated structure of the two type on the basis of arrangement of the amino acid polypeptide chain in the protein. If they are arranged side by side by means of the hydrogen bonding, this is the arrangement of the polypeptide chain. This one side is the N side, another side is known as the C side. One part is towards the amino acid side, and second part is towards the carboxylic side. These are arranged parallel to each other. This is known as the parallel beta plated structure, parallel beta plated structures, and these parallel beta plated structures are supported by means of the hydrogen bonding between the carbonyl group and the amino group of these amino acids. These are held together by means of the hydrogen bonding. And if these polypeptide chains are in opposite directions, this one side is the N side and another side is the C sides, and these are held together by means of the hydrogen bonding, and these are known as the beta plated structures. If the N side is the same side, this is known as the parallel. If one side is the N side, another side is the C side, is known as the in the anti-parallel directions. And the beta plated structure is just like the folded pages of the book, and these are held together by means of the hydrogen bonding, van der Waals forces, and the dipeptide linkage. This is the secondary structure of the protein, and this secondary structure of protein is formed by the primary structure of the protein, and this is supported by means of the hydrogen bonding. Now, after this we will study about the tertiary structure of the protein. Now, students, in that part is the tertiary structure of the protein, and tertiary structure of the protein is the further folding of the secondary structure of the protein. The secondary structure is fold further, and it of the form a complex structure than that of the secondary structure of the protein. Now, this tertiary structure of the protein of the two types on the basis of their polypeptide chains. Now, first is the tertiary structure of the fibrous protein, in that the polypeptide chains are arranged in the form of a sequence and long chains, and these are supported by means of the hydrogen bonding and the peptide linkage. In that, the tertiary structure of the globular protein, in that they are coiled around itself and the spherical shape is attained. Now, the tertiary structure of the protein is the further folding of secondary structure of the protein. Now, after this we will study about the quaternary structure of the protein. Now, students, the fourth type of the structure of the protein is the quaternary structure of the protein. In the quaternary structure of the protein is the overall folding of the primary molecules, primary structure of the protein that form the secondary structure, and further folding of it known as the tertiary, and overall folding of a primary structure of the protein is known as the quaternary structure of the proteins. The quaternary structure of proteins refers to the determination of the number of subunits and their spatial arrangement with respect to the each other. Like if we take the example of hemoglobin, human hemoglobin, and it is it has the two subunits are found, two units of the alpha, two identical alpha units and two identical beta units are found. The most complex form of the protein is the quaternary structure of the protein. Now this is all about our topic proteins. We will started and up to the structure of the protein. Thank you. Have a nice day. Watch the video and subscribe the channels, and I'm your personal teacher and I will regularly give the video to the in chemistry from all levels. And if you like my video and subscribe it, and I promise you it is definitely helping hand for you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye. And wait for my another video that I will brought you the soon in this series of the biomolecules. Thank you.